malungil tasil silmora. Arog la adal kok mosim iltun ini mertiar program ko amra Kausischakl la afternoon. Kamama kautelo ko Mr. Kamame ngaringa guest kamam. Guest kamama Dr. Excuse ra kasole. Kasole el alsil simlania. Akamildili la talan mong dire kala dir kora mari ringi magi blaringi mran me ya al sben me. Ma next week abol so enen show. Nga ka monitora Mr. Jackson. Ungkora telibon mo smodia Dr. Said. Destin do singara mong kester mam. And then ayulo merang makmogera ringi mong boso edel ado ultewa. Bakit mo tulman mo nga sulit at ro message tulman mo ko yung milon also. Originally ko ka Dr. Said Jackson introduce.
I'm sorry, you're well. Dr. Said. El anga aktimo kora di briefly introduce nga gidel special guest ramam. Tial short gidel al suelba kora mo mix at kor bela ma tor English ling for the sake ra ngal leader le ngatiang. First of all ang ngal Dr. Said ulbangela tara adel mer officer nga kan kala Dr. Das. Dr. Das direct toktang adra India. Di Dr. Said background rin nga United States citizen o ba nga passport ra United States. So lang di ethnic background rin nga Persian. Persia tara hotel water blue le bogor del nga 5, 6, 7,000 years old. Kita sa do suba gidele history tara hotel tigel hotel famous leader of Persia Darius the Great. Ngarian mutel imong labes santel gagidang ma Alexander the Great tamlo to so lang Alexander the Great tamle ngwa blurir blo wala Alexander the Great mal history tira mal cloer mangat Dr. Said atar tirigele tilobra bulwale mukera mrigel dingang toktang ding mal interesting dingal toktang ngaragel ngara hospital lo karasmer toktang al sensei nga a doctor, a teacher of academics in the field of medicine. Tiagid. Dr. Das, Dr. Amler obisyo nga, kalulungit ang sew. Losiga basyol borngi, ilmonia Palau School of Medicine. Oy, makul na sew tir, may kutel te alle gureng asulira adra Foreign Investment Board. Letem lokma ke solang ako tetem lo tawaratir. Lagim la sal man nge background tir mang agim lo apil em lo ramadrir el mutem malo ay sa background. Mo se tial School of Medicine bolorur ngir belawa amo accredited. Hindi kaligal ko di fly by night school mo accredited. And number 2 tamlamo modura Dr. Teles real mo o renta bebira classroom al dormitory. Besigida ko mo initial school of medicine Palau. From there tira selbol to ka student tel may tira mo si serguk separate campus til amara babaldaro. Magida mal happy le mal boto ka ungil benefit tel bodola other Palau, particularly a free tuition and moral bigger Palau sorir ma ardir bela sorir moraskura medicine mo tokta traklusay direct el sel borngi agagil internship et sel mor oror hospital litada el al suelba agim la mitra agmar ora idung am la mitra Minister of Health el Mr. Oilo magilu ay sik maseng tial Palau School of Medicine am lamo YFIBT maringi campus certil temporary hindi mas real accept as students may maling larngul. So with that said, I turn the microphone back to Yoel who will ask a few questions to Dr. Said as we proceed. And then he can also give his own background. I kind of gave the audience in Palawan who you are and that you are here to establish the first Palau School of Medicine.
Yes, sir.
And then there are going to be some questions to ask you. So I turn the the microphone back to Joel Toribio.
Oh, yes, good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon, sir.
I just want you to, if ever possible, explain your plan.
About the medical school?
Yeah, about the medical school. And I mean, my main thing is, aside from the whole world, why you pick Palau? But let's go first with your plan on the medical school.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
people will understand that, and if these gentlemen have questions, then we'll just interrupt. We try and make this as informal as possible.
Okay.
So relax and just do it as a
Absolutely.
professor, so people will understand you. So the microphone is yours, and the audience are
Well, let me
listening to
say
you.
thank you for the opportunity that you have given to me, and also say hello and thanks for the people who are listening to us. And I hope I don't disappoint them. But basically, if I just say something very briefly about medical education, there are different type of medical educations. We are opening the school based on American medical education, which is consists of pre-med, basic science, and hospital rotation. So the students who are going to come to the school, they should have finished Palau Community College science degree that would cover the basics, pre-med courses. Then they would come to the school, they do 2.5 years of basic science, which is, generally speaking, is the laboratories and classroom settings. After the 2.5 years, they will send them to the hospitals for the next 2.5 years, and they will go through the different hospital departments like surgery, pediatrics, internal medicine, family practice, so on and so forth. And they finish and they receive their MD degree. That would be the 5 years program that we have envisioned for them. Of course, that's not going to be the end of the story. They can even go further. They can go into the specialty training. If they get the chance to go into, they can become internal medicine or pediatric or anesthesiologist. There are many different fields of medicine that they become a specialty in that. But as far as the school is concerned, we have a 5 years program, and the program would produce doctor of medicine. And they can, of course, practice as a general physician. They can work in the hospitals. They maybe, if they want to, they can maybe open their own private consultations. And they can even teach in college and universities. They will be qualified to enter into research program. Lots of pharmaceutical companies, they do hire MDs to do research for them. So the door is open, and there is many opportunities for the doctors to practice. For example, for me, when I graduated in 2000, and primarily I didn't practice medicine. I was in the academic part of it. I did practice in the hospitals, but mostly I was involved with the medical students and teaching and managing medical students. So these are, they can go teaching, they can go research, they can go practice. There are many kind of opportunity for them available. As for me, as I said, I finished and I done some practice medicine in hospitals, but later on I'm always a teacher. I always feel more comfortable in a classroom. So I get into the medical school and I start teaching. And from that point on, I'm working with the medical students, and I'm probably very proud to say I think I've trained something like 700 doctors.
Wow.
That they're practicing in US, they're practicing in Europe, some of them practicing in Middle East, some of them practicing in Central and South America.
So you got all the permits necessary to start the school year.
Yes, we have most of the permits, but there is a still little bit of paperwork that needs to be done. That we are working on that one. But after that is finished, we are legally we can operate.
I understand
then
that. I understand that Palau Community College
Yes.
have opened a door, so you're communicating with them at this time.
I had a meeting with the president of community college. He was very gracious to offer to support us for the, the first step is always the most difficult one. And he offered his support to the school, and he gave us a chance to, opportunity that we can probably use some of the unused space in the college, or house over the students in the unused dormitories that may be available. If it's available, I'm not sure. But he was willing to cooperate with, he's willing to cooperate with the school. So we would think this is very good for, we can, the first step, we have a place to establish the school, and later on maybe we can, we will go ahead and construct our own campuses and the dormitories, but that would be in the future.
Do you have any,
Good afternoon, Dr.
afternoon,
Said,
Mr.
and
Moses.
welcome to Kausischakl program.
Thank you, sir.
We Palauans, when you speak in public, the first
Yes, sir.
question people ask is, who's he? Where he came from? What's his family? His
Totally
family are on the negative side or positive side, and what's so? And I notice you have heavy accent, so I just kind of maybe speak a little bit slowly because
Something about myself.
yeah, some of us cannot understand some of the things you say, but so your background is. I understand you told me you were a kid, and you immigrated to the U.S. in 1978 or 79.
1978, yes.
Yeah, so can you explain to us a little bit of your schooling and?
Well, my family, we all have a past, present, and a future. It also includes me. My past was that I was born in Iran, and I was living in Iran. My family, I come from a military family. My father was in the military, was a colonel in military.
Wow.
And of course, I went through the high school and primary school and high school. And later on, we left the country after the revolution in Iran in 1978. And that became my present. I become American. I stayed in US and become a US citizen. And I think I was in US until from 78 until probably 2000, or a little bit sooner.
So you went to U.S. as a foreign student, right?
I started as a foreign student, but with the situation in the revolution and things like that, they give me a chance to stay.
Oh,
Plus there was a war going on between the Iran and Iraq at that time. So they said, if there is no money coming in, and many hardships, but Americans were gracious enough to let us stay and find some unemployment to support ourselves. And later on, I received my green card, and then as soon as I was qualified to become a U.S. citizen, I take advantage of that and become U.S. citizen. So I'm right now in my third passport with the U.S. citizenship, that I have 30 years of U.S. citizenship.
and in terms of teaching, how many years have you been into teaching medicine?
I finished medical school in 2000. And after the finish the medical school, I went and practiced a little bit. Practiced about 2.5 years in Mexico. But then the college that I graduated from, they asked me, since the college was, the courses were in English, and they saw something good in me. I don't know what they saw good in me, but they did find something good in me. So they offered me a position to teach for them.
Oh, so.
So I start teaching, and later on they offered me a position of deanship. And I become the dean of the medical school, and I stayed in Mexico for 14 years. And I was both teaching and dealing with the hospitals, working with the students, working with the doctors. For about 14 years I was in Mexico. And after that I get an opportunity to teach in another medical school. And slowly I figured out I'm getting old, you know, I'm not getting younger anymore. So I said I need to have a legacy for myself in this world, more than anything else. So I said, what am I going to do to leave a legacy of myself? I said, the only thing I know is medicine, and the only thing I know is how to teach medicine. So I decided to open a medical school for myself. And we start, you know, I know how to run a medical school, I know what are the programs should be, what type of equipments we need, what type of the students we need. So I said, why don't I do that? And the gentleman to my right said, why Palau? I would have to answer that because, you know, when you start an educational institution, there has to be some requirement for it. For example, when you start your educational institution, is this country or region politically a stable country? Are there any war is going on around you? Are there any dispute that they would go into some conflict that would disrupt the education system, educational process? And well, Palau has none of that, obviously. We are in very nice part of the world, all the way away from all the wars and the political engagement and something like that. The second thing is infrastructure. You know, you cannot build a medical school on top of the mountain that you have to get the mule, go up there 2 hours every day. That's not going to work, of course. Palau has the top line infrastructure. The roads are good. They have an international airport that actually have number of different airlines are flying into Palau that would, you know, connect the students that they can come here and they can go back home whenever they need to. And also the level of living. You know, it has to be, you know, these are medical students. They don't come to do a labor work that they would eat whatever and they live anywhere. That doesn't work with them. They need to have some lifestyle that would fit in their category. And Palau has that also, you know. And plus the cost of living is, comparing to some other countries, it is very reasonable.
Mr. Said,
Yes, sir.
I think another issue is we talked about that you also, aside from being a teacher of medicine, you also know how to organize a school of medicine.
Of course.
And said you have experience opening school in the Eastern Bloc countries. Can
That's
you
why-
explain that?
Yes, yes.
And
That's-
then second part of my question
Yes, yes,
is
sir.
the Palauan people are curious. If you open the medical school, where are the students coming from? And you told me you have a students line up already. So that's second part of the question.
Yes,
is
sir.
if you can explain that to the
Of
audience.
course.
And then let me just put a third part of the question.
Okay.
Of course.
When do you intend to start?
I will answer
Very
both
good.
of them.
Okay.
So there are 3 points.
3 points, yeah.
The background of the medical school establishment, for me, I've been practicing, I'm working with the medical school management for 25 years. But my partner, he has a company that is specialized in opening medical schools. So they have already established about, I think, 6 medical schools in different countries, mostly in ex-Soviet Union republic like Uzbekistan,
Bulgaria,
Tajikistan, Bulgaria,
yeah.
and Romania,
Romania, Hungary,
Armenia.
Armenia.
I think they are working in one for us. But these are not our med school.
Right.
These are the people who want to open a medical school. They would go to him, and he knows all the requirements and the laws governing this, starting a medical school, and he will take care of it and he will put it all together, and then when it's open, they will turn it over to the people who have done the investment for them.
I see.
But the Palau School of Medicine is our project. We are not turning it over to anybody else. It's me and Dr. Amrat. We are the main shareholder of the college.
And you also have a partner who is from
Dr.
Belize.
Ghulam, yes. Mr. Ghulam is also part of the group, but he's mostly on the financial side. Financial side of it.
I see.
I'm mostly in the management of the day-to-day school. Dr. Amrat is doing mostly the requirements and the financial and whatever requires from the Indian part of it. And Mr. Ghulam is also do the requirement for the financial part of it.
I see.
As far as what the students we are going to bring, here is basically the picture of the situation in India. Every year there is a test for the medical school entrance test in India. That is about 5 million students take that test. Out of the 5 million students that take the test, something like 1.5 million pass the test. And this 1.5 million are qualified to enter a medical school. The Indian medical education can only absorb about 400,000 of them, which means over 1 million Indian students who can enter a medical school, they cannot enter an Indian medical school. Those are the ones who are available and they go to the East European countries or the ex-Soviet Union countries that they have medical schools available for them, so they can go and continue their education there. So our project is to primarily bring Indian students who qualify to enter medical school.
So instead of the Indian students going to the Eastern Bloc country,
They
come to
here.
Palau.
Come to Palau.
It's the best thing about Palau is closer to India,
I think it's
about the
lot
same
more.
distance.
You see, the system, I never been in, to be honest with you, I never been in Uzbekistan in my whole life.
Okay.
So I cannot make a judgment that
The proximity.
Hanoi is better or Doha is better.
Yeah,
I don't know their system. But our system is American system. And obviously American system is recognized internationally. There no country in the world that say, our degree is based on the U.S. educational system, and they say you are missing something in your degree.
So basically, when the school starts, you already have a captive market ready to come.
Absolutely.
That's the news we want to know.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we want the school to start and have students, not an empty classroom. Yeah.
No. We are going. Our first project for right now is about 40 students. It doesn't mean I cannot bring any more. But when you start anything new, there is a lot of debugging that has to be into the system. It's one thing to plan and another thing to implement. Implementing, there is always, you miss something here, there is something that didn't figure it out. So I don't want to fix the system by 200 students at a time. 40 students is more manageable. I'm quite certain by the time they come here, I have to make some adjustment. I say I have a food for them. I really don't know what kind of a food because I don't know what are they going to eat. So these are the things that with the 40 students is manageable. I can get the idea of what needs to be done with them, and then next year another 40, another 50, based on availability of the space. And but our main number is we don't want more than 300 students in Palau. We have to also recognize the capacity of Palau for the number of people who can be here. I won't think it would be reasonable to bring 1,000 students and let them run through the Kuro all the time without enough, it would drain the services. That's what we don't want to do. But 200, I think it would be.
For us, like the school is a big thing. I mean, even to start a kindergarten school or primary school, because you think of like teachers and facilities and curriculum and then the expense, because so it's like really big. Medical school, I mean, medicine is on top. Medicine and law, they're on top there. So,
Absolutely, yes.
this is kind of a big thing, But the way you explained it to me, I beginning to kind of understand. And I know when I introduced you to some official in Palau, he was very skeptic, from the start. And I realized, because it's something, kind of big, to train people to treat you, to save lives.
But let me ease your mind. Medical education is very standardized. Anywhere, any medical school you go in any country, doesn't make it Palau, United States, Russia, England, the education is very standard. There are certain courses that everybody have to take.
So you have to bring professors and
that they
specialists
teach
from
those
outside.
courses. Most likely I will. And then when you go to the hospital, there are certain hospital rotations that they have to take. We call them core rotations. So setting up a medical program, it's not that difficult, because if you know the courses that they have to offer and the hospital rotations that they have to take, it wouldn't be difficult to set up the program. The issue with it is how it's managed. Just having a course and having a teacher, here is the bottom line problem. I have to make sure a person who gets the MD degree from me, he knows what is he doing with the patient. I don't care about grades. If he says I have A all the way through the medical school, but he doesn't know what to do with the patient, it's a worthless doctor. It doesn't do any good. So I have to make sure that the program is implemented in a way that I produce qualified doctor, not to just go through the motion of going to classroom and coming up. If you forgot the Independence Day of Palau, no one gonna die, right? But if you forgot what medication to give to the patient who had a heart attack, they will die. So the information is not in such a way that you can say, well, I forgot only one thing. That the one thing you forgot gonna kill someone. You can play with it like that. It has to be done in a way that when these people graduate, when they go to the hospital, or when they start their own consultation, they don't kill people.
The problem here is we have limited service and also equipment and then number of doctors. So we're sending a patient now to Philippines, to Taiwan, to Hawaii, and now to India. So I mean, if we have a medical school, will it kind of help alleviate our situations?
In long run, yes. You see, when the students graduate from medical school, they become general practitioner. But being a general practitioner, you're like a doorway to the more advanced medicine. For example, if somebody has a heart problem, general practitioner has a limited knowledge how to work with him. Anything more than that, they have to refer them to cardiologists. Those are the ones who have done 5 years, 4 years residency, and they only study the heart. They don't study anything else. Eventually, when we fill up the position that is required for a general physician in the country, then the extra number of them, they can go enter into the residency program. And they become surgeons, anesthesiologists, pediatrics, I don't know, internal medicine. Sorry, I don't know, please, somebody's.
They're listening to you from
from abroad.
Mexico.
Oh, probably so. My apology. I have to turn it off before I started. But
So he wants to know when you can start and when the students are coming.
Yeah.
students, the foreign students, the Indian students will be here by November.
Oh, this year.
Because, yes, November of this year. So I have very limited time to set
To
everything
prepare
up,
everything.
to prepare
Okay.
and buy some equipments to have there and get everything ready for.
We
them
hope
to
we
come.
hope this short interview will open minds of the people who will make decisions with you,
I hope so.
so that this is like he said, this is probably one of the biggest thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah, yeah. If it
To
could
put up a
happen.
medical school in this small island nation. But having said that, you told me a funny story.
Oh, about the panoply. Oh, yes, yes.
And let's just close your short interview with a funny story,
Okay.
so that you can go do other things, because you have a very short time to have the school start.
Maybe I can tell you one of my good experience as a doctor.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear?
Yeah, do that.
Okay. One time I was working in a hospital 2 o'clock in the morning, and they brought this lady, and she needed C-section to deliver her baby. So me and the OB/GYN doctor and the anesthesiologist, we all went to the surgery room, and take the baby out, and the baby was okay, the mother was okay, so we all went back to sleep. Fast forward 5 years later, I was in a supermarket and I was doing some shopping. I saw this woman comes to me and said, "Do you remember me?" And I have seen thousands of patients. I don't know. I thought maybe I didn't want to tell her, "No, I'm sorry, I don't remember you." I said, "Oh yeah, of course I remember you. Are you taking your medication okay? Is this everything okay with you?" She started laughing at me. I said, "No, you don't remember me." I said, "Why don't you said you see my son?" I was a 5 years old boy. He said, "You are the one who done the surgery on me." But I was very surprised, because when you go to the surgical room, you cover your face, you cover your head, everything is covered. The only thing is open is your eyes. I said, "But how do you recognize me?" When I was doing the surgery, he said, "I recognize you from your eyes." He remembered me and the other doctor who were doing surgery on her just from our eyes.
Wow.
It is very powerful, medicine is very powerful.
Dr. Saeed, before we almost closing, can you explain the benefit to Palau? Okay, we talked about these students, if they come here, let's say even 100, that's already classified as medical tourism, because they're going to be part of the community. They'll be buying food and renting cars, renting apartments. And then when the school starts, you talked about giving some Palauans scholarship to go to the same medical school.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you explain more of that?
Okay, for the Palauian student, we have already made a commitment that there is a 100% scholarship for them. They won't pay anything there is no tuition involved with them. But there is some condition involved with it. One of the conditions is they have to be graduate of Palau Community College. We have to make sure they have already done their pre-med courses done. And the other thing is they would have to have a 2 recommendation letter. One from their science teacher, who would recommend them to enter a medical school, and another also from the president of community college, that would also recommend them. So they have the high, they know that the student, and they will be mostly successful to finish that. And after that, we would also want them to sign a contract that after they finish and they become doctors, they should stay in Palau for 3 years. In exchange for the free education, they should stay and serve the Palau communities for 3 years, and after that, they're free to go. They want to go anywhere else, that would be. But for the first 3 years, they have to.
So after school, they will stay and help the hospital.
They help the hospital,
college,
the clinics, and anywhere they need to. they will be they will provide
For
medical
3
services to the for 3 years.
That's a very interesting.
So that way there is always there won't be too much shortage of any general physician here. And then at the same time, they have a chance to grow later on if they want to go, to some residency program in another countries, or they want to expand their life somewhere else. That we don't want to stop them.
Okay. I think,
Yeah. From your experience, if you are to look for a place to put the hospital in any country, you put hospital in the rural area, you put hospital in the urban area where the people around.
What I'm going to tell you, it's not coming from the expertise. But what I can tell you is the hospitals are very expensive to make and very expensive to maintain. For example, the hospital that I was trained in Mexico, the pediatric department was losing something like $20,000 a month. Simply because if the kid is sick, you cannot refuse to treatment. You have to hospitalize them and treat them. Even though they cannot pay the money, but you cannot refuse treatment. For that reason, I think the hospital should be somewhere that there is enough patient. And wherever there is the most populated area in the country, that's where you want to have them. If you put the hospital somewhere
in the Rock Island.
in the Rock Island, how you get there? You see, the hospital have a department that is called emergency room, right? Emergency room is somewhere that people who have acute and life-threatening diseases that they have to go there. I can tell you something, that if someone has a heart attack, you have 7 minutes to save them. Now, if the hospital is 45 minutes away,
forget it.
They're already dead before even the ambulance get to them. That's not going to work. So that's what I'm just saying, that this is out of my own. The hospital should be where most people are, that anybody has an emergency, they have to be able to access that emergency room. Other than that, it will not going to do.
Well, Dr. Said, thank you very much for this opportunity.
It was a pleasure, and thanks for the opportunity.
I'm going to tell the joke for your joke.
Okay, please do.
To our
Please,
patients. Said was offered a job in Pohnpei. So he thought it is next to Italy. You know the Pohnpei?
Pohnpei, yeah.
So he goes on the flight, and the next thing is Los Angeles, Honolulu, Guam. So where am I going? But I guess that's a karma.
That
you
is
ended
the
up
karma.
in Palau.
There is no coincidence in life.
Thank you very much for this opportunity for us to talk to you.
My pleasure.
And we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully,
sir. Thank you very much.
when you start, we'll have more time to come and we
Would
talk
love to
about
do that.
your program.
I hope your listeners enjoy our program.
They do
and
very
I hope
much.
they will
indeed.
have some knowledge of what you're about to happen in Palau
Okay.
regarding the medical education.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
El time agitribil nga short break. Mumusubel Dr. Said, el gukmral ng Arial Borgi. Then we will continue our Kausischakl.